Love y'all, you hear me? Real shit. Today, I'm gonna talk about being the observer, you hear me? A lot of people don't understand. I always say a lot of people don't understand. But fuck, it be true, you hear me? I talk because I observe everything, you hear me? I'm real good at reading energy, meaning even if I don't see it, you hear me? You know how you walk past somebody, you hear me? And you can still, once they walk past, you can feel the air pass, you hear me? Even if they pass, you hear me? That's the same thing like energy too, you hear me? They're gonna have to do that, you hear me? But you know what's coming behind it. You see the energy behind it. You get what I'm saying? So for example, two people in cahoots about you, right? Two people talking to each other about you. You hear me? You know that's what they're doing. You hear me? Because you watch them, you hear me? As you watch them, you see they keep looking up at you. You know when you walk in a room or whatever, you hear me? They be quiet or they change subjects. Or when you walk in, you hear me? A nigga leave. You hear me? Or whatever like that. You hear me? At the end of the day, I could be wrong about that too. You hear me? At the end of the day, you hear me? It's all about how it's all about the situation. You hear me? And how you perceive it. You get what I'm saying? So let's just say, you hear me? They got two people in cahoots about you or whatever like that. You hear me? They don't want you to know that they talking about you, so they move around. Or, you hear me, they stop talking, or they do whatever, you hear me, just for them to say that, oh no, they not doing that, you get what I'm saying? But you know the real, you hear me, but the thing is, so, they leave, you hear me, one person leave, you hear me, one person leave or whatever like that, you get what I'm saying? As they leave, you hear me, you can feel that energy, you get what I'm saying? Or you can see that energy, you hear me, of them, you knowing, you hear me, that they don't really fuck with you, you get what I'm saying? Nobody can't hide that shit. Nobody can't hide that type of shit. If you good at poker face, well, nigga can't read your energy at all whatsoever, you hear me, then you able to do that. You hear me? You gotta be real good at hiding your energy, you get what I'm saying? Or hiding how you feel about certain shit, you hear me? Because at the end of the day, most people go off of what they see. You get what I'm saying? It's not actually what they know, you hear me? They going by what they seeing, you get what I'm saying? You hear me? So if they see that, you hear me, and they go off of that, then you have to let them. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they still in the blind because they don't know the truth. You hear me? They don't know what's real. You hear me? So you really got to watch how you move. You get what I'm saying? So when I say you being an observer, you don't actually have to say anything. You hear me? You go watch how this person talk to somebody else, or how they act with somebody else versus how they do with you. You hear me? Then that's another way of you knowing that. You hear me? But at the same time, you hear me? I'm gonna break this shit down. My partner told me it's called 4 boxes. You hear me? We got 4 boxes. You hear me? So first box is your box. Second box is like family. You hear me? Best friends, some shit like that. Third box, you hear me, is workplace, you hear me, and the fourth box is something that everybody know, you hear me. You keep people in boxes according to how they treat you, how y'all build y'all relationship, you get what I'm saying? It's going to determine what box people are in. You hear me? Being an observer. Yeah, so being an observer, you hear me, is not only just watching that moment, you hear me, or just listening to that moment. Being an observer also requires, you hear me, the after effects of any situation or what's going on, you get what I'm saying? Because you may not, and within that one moment, you hear me, you may not get all the information that you need, you hear me? So when you finish observing, you hear me, you watch how the rest of the shit play out after that, you hear me, you observe people, then you piecing more information together, you hear me, now you getting more, you hear me, now you able to understand a whole story or a whole situation, you hear me? You hear what I'm saying? So you not just watching one part, you hear me? You watching what happened afterwards, you hear me? Or you could even see the shit before. Oh bam, I see they about to talk. You hear me? Woo woo woo. If you just keep your ears open, you hear me? Like I tell the nigga all the time, you hear me? Watch with your ears and listen with your eyes. That's why they say actions speak louder than words. You hear me? Because at the end of the day, you hear me? Nigga could say that they fuck with you or whatever like that, you hear me? But they action gonna show different. You get what I'm saying? Nigga can't hide their actions. You hear me? That's why they say actions speak louder than words. You hear me? You gotta watch what a nigga saying. You hear me? Watch what he's saying. Listen. You hear me? Keep your ears open. You hear me? Because at the same time, you also being an observer, you hear me? You also know when a nigga trying to get over on you too. You hear me? Because you know when somebody is genuine, you know when they not genuine. You get what I'm saying? So if you know that somebody don't fuck with you, right? You hear me? Or they may not fuck with you all the way, it might be 50%. You get what I'm saying? They got some people, hear me, who come at you just to talk to you and try to get information from you. You hear me? So they could go kiki ha ha behind your back. You hear me? Like they normally do. You get what I'm saying? That's why you gotta really understand people energy. You hear me? Because niggas that act like this way in front of you. You hear me? Then turn around, be something else. You hear me? That's why acting is dangerous. You hear me? That's why acting is dangerous, bro. You can see that shit on TV. You hear me? Actors, bro. They got actors. You hear me? They be real good. You hear me? That's why you gotta have discernment. Real true discernment. You hear me? When you have discernment, then you are able to depict, you hear me, what's real and what's not. You hear me? You're able to depict who's real and who's not. You get what I'm saying? It's all about being an observer, bro. You learn nothing without watching it. You hear me? How you think you know certain people? You hear me? It don't even have to be somebody that you don't like. You get what I'm saying? Or somebody who don't like you. You get what I'm saying? You can watch this person, you can see they act just like somebody else. You get what I'm saying? Because you really got to keep in mind that other people are merely just a reflection. Everybody is merely just a reflection. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you got somebody, you hear me? Let's say you don't really fuck with nobody like that. You hear me? You quiet. You hear me? You don't really. You get what I'm saying? And they got a motherfucker who don't like you just because they don't like you. You hear me? They don't like you just because they just don't. You hear me? Because the energy you carry, you hear me? The energy you carry, you hear me? It seems hurtful to them. You hear me? As if you could hurt them. You get what I'm saying? And that's the difference from truth and truth. You get what I'm saying? What's true, you hear me, is only accumulated facts. Truth is accumulated facts, you hear me, and intuitively told. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you hear me, your intuition will never lead you wrong. You hear me? Your intuition lets you know what's true and what's not. And nigga, we're in school right now, you hear me? Now you better learn as much as you could. You hear me? Like I said in my old videos, man, take the information that's beneficial to you. You hear me? Something that's gonna make you better. You hear me? And that's all I'm doing. You hear me? I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes. You hear me? I'm not trying to fuck over nobody. I'm not trying to guide nobody the wrong way. You hear me? Because if at the end of the day, you hear me, I'm walking down the wrong path. If I'm leading somebody wrong, you hear me, I'm on the wrong path. You hear me? And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Truth is truth. You hear me? You have your own individual truth just like I have mine. You hear me? And that's the whole point of building and destroying. What's supposed to be there and what's not. You hear me? But I love y'all here. I'm going to get back to it.